What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. It's game day. You guys know what that means. We're hype around here. We're going to talk about some of the things leading into the Chicago Bears' first game against the Green Bay Packers today, going down around 8 p.m. my time, 7 p.m. Central Time. I can't wait to talk about all that, the players' understanding, the impact of this rivalry. What do first-time head coaches, what are their record against the Green Bay Packers? We're going to get into all that and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
All right, Bears fans, it's an exciting day for Bears fans. The Bears can make another statement today against the Green Bay Packers. So before our pregame, I wanted to talk about a few things. First up, what is the record of first-year head coaches against the Green Bay Packers? We actually have a pretty interesting one. So since 1999, not including the current head coach, Matt Eberflus, the first-year head coaches for the Chicago Bears have collectively gone 4-1 against the Green Bay Packers. That is huge. That means that more times than not, yes, the first-time head coaches have found success against our rival, the Green Bay Packers, and hopefully that trend continues. When we talk about that, Dick Duran, he won his first game against the Green Bay Packers 14-13, close game there. In 2004, Lovie Smith won his first game against the Green Bay Packers 21-10. Mark Trestman in 2013 won his first game against the Green Bay Packers 27-20. And John Fox as well in 2015, 17-13, winning his first game against the Green Bay Packers. The only coach, and this should have been a sign, to not find success since 1999 against the Green Bay Packers in their first game was Matt Nagy, losing 24-23 against the Green Bay Packers. So we hope that the trend 4-1 continues today and the Bears can get a big victory against the Green Bay Packers. Now, with that being said, heading into this game, we've already talked about Justin Fields understanding what this game means. I already read his quote, but I'm going to read it again. He says, "It means a lot. I want to win every game I play, but it's a tradition of this rivalry. It means a lot to us as a team, to the fan base, to the people upstairs. It just means a lot to everyone in the building." Cole Kmet says this, "I'm from here. This is a big deal for me. To play in this game is just an honor in of itself. This game means a lot to me as a kid growing up and rooting for this team. This game means a lot to a lot of people." So we already know we have not had the best record against the Green Bay Packers for the longest. We are like one in the last 11 or something like that, 1-11 in the last 12. It's not been a good outcome for the Chicago Bears, but hopefully we start turning that around. Roquan Smith in this says, "I'm just more focused on the future in this game here because that's all that matters. This game here matters more than any other game we've played against those guys because it's the next one. So that's where my mindset is. I really don't care about the past. We just got to go out and stick it to them this week." Byron Pringle, "They don't like us and we don't like them." We already read that quote before. The players understand what this moment is, and hopefully they live up to that moment and have success against this. Jack Sanborn, again, rooting for the Bears his whole life. The hometown kid, anyway, didn't grow up in the city of Chicago, but you know what it is. He has rooted for this team his whole life, and he wants to also find success. Hopefully, he gets out on the field against it. But he says this: "It's kind of wild. It's especially going into Lambeau. It's going to be really neat. Definitely a moment that I'm going to take. But at the same time, I feel like I have a good awareness to know that I got a job to do and I'm not there as a fan, not there to just enjoy the moment. We got a game to play." They understand this moment. They understand what this means. So hopefully we continue to get that. So in this pregame, talking about it, heading into the game today, what are some of the things that we're going to look out for in this game for the Chicago Bears against it? Listen, we already know. We hope to get out of this streak. We hope to continue our win streak and get out of this losing streak against the Green Bay Packers. But how does the Bears offense, the passing offense, look without the rain and normal weather? And you know, it's forecast to be rainy in Green Bay today, but nothing during the game, I don't think so. Hopefully that holds true. But how does this team look? Removing any excuses or anything for the media to say, how does this passing offense look? Do they take a step up from what they gave last week? We hope so, because that first half of last week's game was not anything pretty. And even the second half, even though we found some success, still wasn't the prettiest offense. Does the passing offense look better in this? Do we get a better look? Does Justin Fields manage the game better throughout the full game, a full 4 quarters? And who and what on that wide receiver team outside of Darnell Mooney? And we even really can say him as well. They need to step up. Who steps up in this wide receiver core to give the Bears a big game tonight against the Green Bay Packers? Does David Montgomery, number 2, have a bounce back game? listen, Khalil Herbert came in and wowed. And some people, it's Bears community, it's Bears fan, and we already know some of us make knee-jerk reactions, but some Bears fans have said, hey, is Khalil Herbert going to eventually be the starting running back? David Montgomery is still one of the better running backs in this NFL, and I do think he's going to have a big game, and I think the running game is going to look to establish themselves early on. Our running game was one of the things we know we're going to rely on heavily in the course of this season. We didn't see that really in week 1. Does that come more to what we expect in week 2? But next up, the Bears pass rush. I've talked very heavily about the us stopping the run game, but does that pass rush, how much that we've hit the quarterback in preseason and in week 1, getting sacks, do we put pressure on Aaron Rodgers? That's going to be the biggest thing. When you look at Alquan Muhammad, Travis Gibson, Dominique Robinson, and Robert Quinn, how do they continue to pressure the quarterback and disrupt this passing game throughout the whole game tonight? If they can do those things, we're looking at a totally different game for the Chicago Bears against the Green Bay Packers. If Aaron Rodgers has a lot of time back there, we know he's still working out his chemistry with those wide receivers, a very young wide receiver core. About 60% of the passes went to rookie wide receivers, young wide receivers in the Green Bay's first game. How do we take advantage of that? Do we continue to pressure that? Do we with the Green Bay Packers also having issues on their offensive line? How do we take advantage of that in week 1? With injuries to both their tackle positions, do we come in and completely disrupt them? Aaron Rodgers was sacked 4 times in his week 1 matchup, knocked down once, and hurried 6 times. Can the Chicago Bears do that? Match that with Minnesota did last week to disrupt them, and do we have the potential to do even more and disrupt them? Then lastly, their wide receivers against our secondary. I trust our secondary in that. Like I said before, their passing offense was terrible last week. One of the best things about the Chicago Bears team is the consistency and discipline that we have on the defensive end of the ball. Do we continue to do that? Christian Watson, who a lot of Bears fans wanted, did not have the best outing. Now, does he look to bounce back? Absolutely. But considering he's also a rookie, considering we got rookies out in our secondary, I think we're going to win the matchup in that. And as far as the final predictions that I have for this game, I think this is going to be a knockout, drag-out, defensive matchup. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I say the Bears win this game. I'm going to say 21-17 is how the Bears are going to win this game. 21-17 is what I think the Bears are going to have in this game. You can work that out the way that you want to, but I think the Bears running game is going to have a big game tonight. I hope that they do, but I still think that the Chicago Bears are going to get a victory against the Green Bay Packers tonight. Let's see how truthful that comes. We're going to have our post-game live streams. We're also going to have our halftime hangouts today, so be tuned in for that. But other than that, make sure you're following the show at Chi Bears Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text and or voicemail, the number to do so, as I looked that up because we got a new number, the number to do so, 773-242-9336 is also down in the description, whether you're on the podcast side or the YouTube side of things. But that's it for us for today, for right now. They'll see you at halftime, and we'll see you post-game. But like I like to end everything on, go Bears. Love you guys. Peace, y'all. Bear down, motherfuckers. Bear down.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.